this is where I will be shopping. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is exactly what I would love to buy. For me, this is heaven.
There's 840 in that. So one of those slices is about 600.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Black Book. Early mornings for some of you in America, but obviously it's lunchtime for those of us in UK. Let's talk about this situation. Why do I believe that this particular argument is indicative of what could lead to a particular divorce? Well, simply put, that both of them, and I mean both of them, are actually rigid. Yes, I know. You're probably looking at it going, how can you say that? It's Billy that's rigid. He is. He's definitely rigid. Oh my God. He's rigid, okay? But so is Ash. Okay? All right? So is Ash. Because this particular argument, it didn't need to happen, right? It didn't need to happen because neither of them were in solution mode and both of them were in their feelings and triggered by the other person, which is fine. It happens in relationships. We all get triggered. So this is not an indictment on them, but it's something that if they don't sort out, it's not the thing that will get them divorced. It's the way they go through the argument, right? That will get them divorced. Okay. This whole scenario was about cakes and about freaking vegetables. All right. Broccoli, rice, cakes, and chocolates and sweets. Okay. Both of them felt triggered by the other person's staunchness in the situation. Okay. Ashley wants to change Billy, and Billy doesn't want to change. Now, whenever that happens, that's instantly going to be some friction, right? So this is where there's going to be problems. Now, when people get to that place where they put their feet into the ground and they dig it down, right, they become immovable forces, and this is where it becomes a win versus loss. Okay. And when we start thinking of things in a win versus loss, we are going to struggle to come up with effective solutions that can both make us win in this scenario. I think the conversation I had in the morning in episode 7, which I'll show you a clip of, was actually a really good conversation. Actually, it was needed conversation because it allowed us to be able to have an understanding of why Ashley felt the way she did, right? Now, she said she was concerned about the way he speaks about food. Well, he could also be concerned about the way you speak about food. You're here just eating any kind of calories. And maybe for him putting on weight is a big thing. Okay? Right? So this is where understanding has to come in for both parties. And I think she did a great job of sharing her story. Now, this is where Billy should have contributed as well. When she told her story as to why she is and has a relationship with sugar the way that I have a relationship with sugar, because baby, you ain't never going to tell me not to have chocolate in the cupboard because I'm going to have chocolate in the cupboard. Now, if you tell me you got to struggle with particular foods, what I will do is offer a solution. I'm still going to have my sugar, but I may have to hide it somewhere and lock it away. And that may be the compromise I make so that you can also flourish, but I'm not going to start having my sugar. Do you get what I'm saying to you? This is where solutions come in and not to make it a win-loss. I'm still going to have my sugar because I don't want to be told what to eat either, right? But I respect the fact that you've got your boundaries when it comes to your routine. So even right now, I have put my sugars and my biscuits into a bag, and then I put the bag in the cupboard so that on Monday to Friday or Monday to Thursday, I don't see sugar. I don't want to see sugar. I don't want to know the sugar. I don't want to even hear pim about sugar until at least Thursday, Friday. Right? Now, that's my discipline. Right? That's my discipline. Now, would I want my partner having sugar in the cupboard? No. So what I may suggest is, hey, I still want you to have your sugar. I don't care if you even eat it. I don't even care if I see you eating it because that's not what triggers me. What triggers me is seeing it there and knowing it's just lying there, untouched, unscathed, restless, looking all glossed up in that wrappy paper that needs to be unraveled. You know what I mean? Right? And when I see that's when I start getting triggered. I want to take a bite. You know what I'm saying to you? Right? So there is a level of discipline that comes around this, and sometimes it's better outside than it is. It's better to not have it inside, right? But the reaction, and yes, I actually suggested that they get a lockbox for the cupboard. So there's a particular cupboard that Ashley can go into, and she can have a lock for that cupboard. Now it may seem so juvenile, but this is what happens when you come to solutions rather than looking at win versus losses. Hey, you know what? I respect your routine. I'm going to put the chocolate and the sweets into that cupboard and the cake, and I'm going to lock it up so you don't have access to it, and I'll keep the key myself. That way he can't physically access the box. He can't physically access the cupboard, right? So now that's a great solution instead of actually being a fight. But we're going to go through this because couples need to be in a space of solutions, not just warring with one another. Okay. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you do me a massive favor. You like it, you share, you subscribe. And if you have an opinion, we want to hear it. Put it in the chat, put it in the comment section as well. We want to hear your thoughts and we want to understand where you're coming from. What would be a solution in this scenario? You and your partner are arguing over them being on a lean diet and you necessarily not having the same diet, but being less routine. What would be the solution from your perspective? Put it in the chat for me. Love to hear your thoughts as well. Okay, let's watch a little bit of the clip going backwards. I want to hear this aspect as well, right?
I feel guilty for buying chocolate and sweets and having a goodie cupboard up there, which has already started.
You should never feel guilty for that.
But I'm not going to lie, I do at the moment feel guilty for having it.
Now, the key thing here is this. She did feel guilty. And the question is, why was they guilty? Okay. Why was she feeling guilty? Well, partly because the conversation that they had in the shop, okay, he's a very regimented person. Now, he didn't accuse her of anything. He didn't say that. But it was very odd because the way they edited it at the very end of the episode 6, it was as if he said she couldn't have the cupboard, but I wasn't sure if he was actually saying that. It was like really, really weird. The way they edited it at the end of the episode 6, it's like they kind of portrayed it like he was saying you can't have your cupboard, but then it kind of like was chopped up a little bit. So I wasn't really sure if that was exactly his whole intention. But let's just run with that for sake of the conversation. Let's say he was saying you can't have your cupboard in that particular space, right? And in that particular moment, why was he talking about the 840 calories? Why was they talking about 600 calories in the cake? Well, actually, and this is where Billy needed to kind of probably show a bit more and actually share a bit more. And this is why when you're I believe is an avoidant. When you're an avoidant, what tends to happen is you're not sharing the insight of your mind. You're just reacting. And that's where you're going to lose. The truth will set you free. When I'm coaching clients, I'm getting them to understand the truth will set you free. If you don't explain why you are reacting in the way that you're reacting, people don't fully understand. And when you don't personalize something, it's also important. Because I actually think that both of them were judging, by the way. Okay? I think both of them were judging. I wasn't going to lie to you. Right? I think if I'm honest with you, once you start saying 840 calories, 600 calories, and you don't kind of really say, hey, look, you know what, for me, that's just a lot for me. And, hey, you can have it. But for me, I can't do it because my routine and my gym thing. I actually got that. He said it in the confessions about him being a sarge and a drill sarge, and he can't afford to do that. That should be explained to her. Okay. It's great explaining to us as a confessional, but she needs to know that and say, hey, for me personally, okay, I have to stick to a routine because I'm bad at routines. Right? This is what he needs to explain so she can have understanding of where you're coming from. So empathy can come into it. Hey, I want to be honest with you. You can have your sweet cupboard. You can have your cakes and everything like that. My thing is I need to be regimented. So I only eat mince and rice. We can explore, and I'm open to exploring other meals that may have as many calories without the fat content or whatever. We can explore ways to make the meal more tasty. But I know that I have to stick to that regimen. Right? I know I have to stick to that regimen. Do you get what I'm saying to you? I personally have to stick to that regimen. That's a personal thing. There's nothing wrong with that again. Right? You're explaining that you need to do that because that's your job. I'm sorry, there's nothing else to it. Like, I'm not gonna fight nobody. If my wife came and told me she's a workout, she's a fitness instructor, right? And I'm not gonna start forcing you to eat chocolates if you don't eat chocolates. It doesn't even make sense. I'm not gonna do that. But it's your job. Hey, listen, I will put my chocolates aside. I will hide them. You just can't tell me not to have chocolate. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Like, I'm still gonna have my chocolate, right? That's cool. And if you cook in a way where you're very calorie specific, I would tell my wife, no worries. You know what? I'm not going to force you to cook what I need because I can understand that for you, you have a particular lifestyle. And if I choose you, you've got a particular lifestyle. We've got to be okay with that, right? You see, there's no point having arguments and fights over things that are minuscule. This is minuscule for me, right? It's minuscule because you're not thinking outside of the box. You're thinking of your emotions and you're thinking about how it's impacting you, but not thinking about how you're going to work together as a team. right? I can realize, okay, maybe you know what, she can't cook for me no more because she has to be on a diet. She has to think about this. Da, da, da. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to cook my own meals. Okay, cool. I will choose something else to be a way of us coming together. You know, right? I will choose something else for us to come together with. Okay, so you know what? Cooking's off the table because we know we can't cook the same meal. You know what? Let's you know what? You cook your meal, I'll cook my meal, but we'll cook at the same time. But maybe I'll choose I'll choose, you know, dinner time to eat with you so that we're still having bonding time. Because of course, cooking for someone, eating for someone is bonding. Right? And so it's understandable, right? So we have to accept that people have their own autonomy and their own right to what they want to do. That's why I said both Ashley and Billy have every right to eat how they want to eat. Okay, now she felt guilty because of what he had, maybe, you know, him highlighting the 840 calories and 60. But I also said, wait, hold a minute. When he said he only eats mince, rice, and thingy, and you said, just don't cook that for me, I said, oh, damn, that someone could take that in the wrong way too. Right? I said, you know, oh, just don't cook the rice and the broccoli for me. I was like, oh, okay, well then, you know what I mean? Someone can also feel that way too. So we have to also be aware of the fact that the way we're saying things can also impact people. But again, this is why both of them need to be more paying attention to the solution, actually, because they're not going to change that way. She's going to want sugars. He's going to want to eat his rice and broccoli. You know what I mean? Like, it's not for me. But you know, it's that space, right? And the reason why I say that is because I think it was in her cutscene. I know she was saying something, all right? And I think both of them do this thing as well, right? I think he has a fear. Sorry, I think he has a fear of being changed. I think that's his fear. I think he has a fear of being changed, number one. And number two, I think he also recognizes that he has bad boundaries when it comes to sugar, because he said he's a snacker. He actually said he himself is a snacker. So what should have happened in the conversation was that he should have explained, I have a poor boundaries when it comes to snacking. I will snack. So I want you to have your cupboard, but please put your things, okay, you know, into the side. You have your things on the side, right? You put your things to the side, and you know, just lock it away so I don't see it, right? So that he doesn't impose on her particular autonomy when it comes to food, right? Because exactly, you don't want him. You don't want to come across as if you're trying to control her. But she also too, you don't want to come across as if you're controlling him, trying to get him to change his diet when his whole diet is actually a part of his whole identity and brand when it comes to the work that he does as well. He ain't going to be able to change that. He's going to feel like you're trying to change him and you're trying to manipulate him. That's how it's going to sound like and feel like as somebody who is a very rigid person when it comes to boundaries. And it's the way that both of them are actually going along with the situation, right? They've got to both hold space and validate each other's choices. She's got to validate the fact that he wants to eat rice and broccoli and whatever he wants to eat during the week. He's got to validate the fact she likes her sugars. If you don't validate each other, right, you're going to miss each other. Both parties need to validate each other's choices. Okay? You know what I'm saying to you? Eating cake in front of him would make him considered insulted. I don't know. We don't know. We haven't heard him say that. But you know, the way that he reacted to the 840, the 600 calories, you know, he might do. You know what I mean? He might do. I'm not gonna say yes or no, but he might do. He might actually do that. Yes, he might feel some type of way. Now, I said this is why and I said I also and you know, in that space as well, I think she may feel judged having the sugar because he may be thinking about the calories. And she may feel like he's being judgmental in that space too. And I think also he may feel like she's trying to change him. Let me give you as a back-to-back video.
Okay. Let's give that a go. Yeah. I do want to believe that we can hopefully align our mindsets. And I want to believe Billy can compromise and become less routine like with me. It's going to take time.
Can I be honest with you? He's not going to do it. Sis, give it up. He ain't going to do it. Let it go. Give it up. He ain't going to change. I'm going to be honest with you. If you meet a military man like this who's actively in the military, he's not going to change. sis, you got two choices: accept it or leave it, because he ain't gonna change. Like, it's ingrained in him. This is not like even just an athlete. This is somebody who, this is war for them. You know what I'm saying to you? He ain't gonna change, and if he does, he might resent you for changing. Ashleigh is giving up for him. What's she giving up? She hasn't given up anything, if I'm correct. What has Ashleigh given up? I didn't see her giving up anything. Neither of them have given up anything, if I'm correct. Ashleigh hasn't given up anything. They haven't given up anything, if I'm correct. If I haven't seen anybody say they're going to. She actually said she's going to go with that cupboard. Right? I didn't know she gave up anything. What did she say she gave up? Her job is still her job. Is she giving up her job? She didn't say she's giving up her job. Did I miss that part? Did she say she's actually given up her job? Or did she say she talks about it, but she never said she was giving up her job? Did she say that she's giving up her job? I mean, personally, I don't think she'd give up her job. If she's giving up her job, that's a no bueno for me. That's a no bueno for me. There's no need for you should have given up your job before this particular situation. She's willing to give up the job. Actually giving up a job. I wouldn't want that. I think Billy should make sure she doesn't change her job. Okay, I'll say it again. She should not give up her job. You know what I'm saying to you? And I also think Billy should not predicate his decision on her being willing to. He should not. There is no whenever you see the situation here, both of them lose. Her making a compromise about her job is a bad move. Him accepting her wanting to change her job for this marriage, bad move. They will both end up resenting each other. Don't do it. It's not a win. It's not a win. Right? It's not a win. Because in this situation, okay, right, her giving up her job, she's worked so hard to get to this place, she loves this job, and for you to say you might, and also, there is no guarantee she'll give it up in marriage. You know what I'm saying to you? There is no guarantee she'll give that up in marriage. So predicating your decision on she might change it or she's willing to change it when we get married, I'm telling you, it will be the worst decision for you. Don't ever do it in your life. If she's not willing to change it, if she's not changing it now, she ain't changing it later on, bro. Okay? When people get settled, they get comfortable, they start making different decisions. I would say, listen, leave it as it is. Okay? And I would say for Billy, for that situation, that air stewardesses are not your bag. I don't think she's going to change it, bro. I don't think she's going to change it. Okay? I don't think she's going to change it because for you, the routine is at odds. You guys have two different routines. She's also saying that she's not very routined and you're very routine. And that's, again, very difficult because you need to mix and blend. You know? It's difficult. It's difficult. So I think for him, I think he should leave it alone. I think he should leave it alone. And I know he's having 50-50 in his mind. I think he should leave it alone. Because this argument is sentiment of what's going to happen later on. You know what I'm saying to you? She's going to want him to change and expect him to change, and he's not going to change. He's going to want her to change and expect her to change, and she ain't going to change. She's always going to be that Ashleigh. And if she does change, she'll end up resenting him for changing. Let's leave this one alone. You know? Air stewardesses. Sorry. I think I said the wrong thing, innit? That's the wrong thing. My bad, guys. I call it air stewardesses. I said the wrong thing, guys. Forgive me. Oh man. You know what I mean? Because this argument was so silly here, right?
600 calories.
Sorry, but I really don't care.
600 calories of pure sugar.
If I'm feeling a little bit down and just want to pick me up, give me cake.
It's probably the first time we've really had a large difference in opinion.
And there really shouldn't have been a difference in opinion, to be honest, because again, it was about your own ways of eating, you know, and you know, I think in a situation, you you know, I think in this situation that, you know, when you okay, okay, so silly. I think the situation here, right? Again, and I think this is really important for any relationship, as we've said about respect and autonomy, about everybody having their own space to do what they want to do as well. And I think for this to go forward, they both either gonna have to compromise on each other, right? She's gonna have to become more rigid. She's gonna have to become more rigid, and he's gonna have to become more flexible in order for this to work. The question is, are either of them willing to do the same? Whether you agree them, which side of you choose, are you willing to shift your position? And is the other person willing to meet you in that space too? That's the question. Are you willing to meet that person in the middle in that instance and give up some ground in order for this relationship to work? You know, so that's why I said that Billy needs to personalize it and say, I eat this way for me, not to control you, but for me. Okay, they both have fears. He fears that she's gonna change him and try to remove his routine. She feels like she's gonna be stuck in a routine that she can't get out of. It's just two different peoples. Now, the argument at the end, episode 8, though, okay, was I shouldn't say argument, but conversation that they had also, right, was also interesting with the two of them. You know, oh, look at them trying to take me out. Hold on. I want to just be able to get to what the argument, because I didn't say argument, but a disagreement. They had a conversation and they had a check-in as to where they were. I want to be able to.
Really expecting you to say like it was 50-50. I think it's just a shock. I don't know. Yeah, hearing that.
It's just scary thinking this could all go pear-shaped in 6 months if our jobs don't align.
I think us also another big issue is that their job routines don't actually align. And someone being a cabin crew, someone being air stewardess, someone being a flight attendant, whichever the names are now, because you know me, I'm going to definitely ruin a name. The scheduling is also massively important. Okay, scheduling is also massively important. And I said this already about Billy. Billy's uncomfortable because there is some trauma around the aspect of quality time and not having enough of it. There is a trauma there because of what his past marriage happened to him. So whatever happened at last marriage, it's traumatized him to a place, okay, where he himself, he needs a certain level of quality time with a person. And I think that that's a massive thing. And again, I need him to explain that. I need him to go a little bit deeper with that. I need him to expand that. I need him to be open to that, so that our good sis here, Ashleigh, can really understand where you're coming from. In a lot of these scenarios, if you notice, these relationships, the reason why things go wrong is because people are not explaining the reason behind the issue. They're just saying, this is me. I don't like air stewardesses. I don't like flight attendants. I don't like cabin crew. I don't like pilots. I don't like nurses. Okay, why? Well, my experience was that I experienced X, Y, and Z. And what I've realized is I need a certain level of quality time. Okay, cool. Now someone can understand that. Now, is there any work that you need to do on your end? Is there any work that you need to do on your end? I think Billy's got some work to do. Right? It's not say Ashleigh hasn't got any work to do as well. Ashleigh got some work to do as well, because I think she's anxiously attached, and that makes her want to try and squeeze her foot in Cinderella's shoe, and Cinderella's shoe too small. Right? So her trying to fit her shoe in, okay, a foot into the shoe, the foot it's not fitting in that shoe. And that ends up happening. What ends up happening is, right? What ends up happening in that space is that you compromise on things you shouldn't compromise on. And then in the end, you're resentful because you felt like you've had to give up so much for the situation. You get me? Because obviously the fact that the dad knew that it weren't a flight attendant thing. He made sure that he said, listen, It can't be a flight attendant thing. That man said, nah, nah, sorry, sir. Sorry, boss.
I don't think it's ever been cemented. Yes.
Damn, I even got the wrong part of the clip. They were just bare air blood. They weren't even talking in the scene I was looking for. They were just bare air.
Like, we talked to each other around saying, yes, this can work, it will work.
Yeah.
But it can never have been cemented. We always talked about it being an ongoing thing that we're going to have to battle.
I guess it's just really hard hearing like...
Billy can't commit. Let me be honest with you. Billy ain't committing. Billy can't commit. He can't commit because he's not been assured by Ashleigh. It's not her fault. He's not been assured by Ashleigh's routine that it would align with his. Can I be honest with you? I think Billy needs to walk away. I think Billy needs to walk away. I think he needs to walk away. I think he needs to walk away because I think it's not going to change because she is who she is and the role she does as a work ain't going to change, bro. So if it's not going to change, you're going to have the same issues you had previously. I think, you know what? You did a good job. You came here, and everything like that. You just need to just move it on. You know, leave it on. Because you know your structure is important to you. You know what I'm saying to you? But listen, look, I'm going to end it there. I need you guys to leave a comment down below in this video. I want to hear solutions of how they could solve this scenario. I know, and let me give my solution. Here's my real solution, right? They need to sit down diligently and actually start to plan a schedule. They're not going to like it. I'm going to be honest with you. They ain't going to like it because it's going to feel a bit restrictive. They need to plan schedule around their schedules to say, where can we fit our quality time in? How much time do I need to have quality time in order to feel loved, cared for, and okay? Right? This is my plan. If they were to solve this issue, they need to link up their schedules. Okay. All right. As soon as they get their schedules, I know that hers might change because of obviously the flights and everything. It may change weekly. Okay. All right. And in that space, what can be done is that we say, okay, we'll weekly sit down and talk or whatever. Okay. And we'll discuss about where we want to plan our intentional time together so that I get the time that I need. Right. That takes a lot of energy and a lot of strength, but that's the way to solve an issue there. And then when it comes to the sugars and the cakes and everything, really, so that her to have a particular cupboard, a lock on the cupboard, and him to cook his own meals if he needs to because no one else going to cook it for him. Cool. Now, I need to know if you guys have got a solution. If you feel you can solve this scenario, I need your solutions down in the chat. Why? Because someone might be watching who needs the help. They might have already married. You know what I'm saying to you? Okay. All right. So, click on that bell button for notifications of the uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay loaded. I will be live a little bit later on. I think I've got one or two more lives I want to do. I need to talk about I need to watch the Jasmine Brown situation. But I might do that another day. And also, I know that Pepe and Iris are broken up. I didn't know Amaya and Brian broken up, so I'll have to look into that. And also, Shelly and Ace. We need to talk about that. What the hell's what's happening? We're in love and we're in a relationship. We're in love and not in a relationship. I believe they got commitment issues. I believe they might have commitment issues. Now, Ace might come out and just do a massive proposal for girlfriend. He might do. Who knows? But right now, what I'm seeing is a lack of commitment from these two so far. But we'll discuss that a little bit later on as well. Okay, we'll discuss that a little bit later on. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification uploads. We appreciate you. Stay locked. We'll see you again very soon. Much love, much appreciation. Ta-ra, ta-ra.